act like y'all love y'all blackness because y'all don't. You just don't. Black people don't love their blackness. And this is a reality that I've had to make peace with. I've had to make peace with this reality that we really don't love our blackness. But I
They don't
think
want
that,
you to love it either.
huh?
They don't want you to love it either. They want you to have as much
Well,
disdain for it as they do.
but then let me play devil's advocate with the chat box.
Oh boy.
I give y'all this. Let's not act like in Latin America they don't try to separate them from their blackness because they do. You will
Yeah.
have a whole obviously black Puerto Rican who will be saying I'm not black. You will have a whole obviously African, probably right off of Haiti, person from the Dominican Republic, and they will say that I'm not black, I am Dominican. And we keep having to tell you that Dominican is not a race. So that's why I say this is globally. Globally, nobody wants to be black.
But
Globally.
I have to give you a little pushback on that though, because I told you a
Okay.
lot of times when they say they're not black, they're just saying they're not identifying with black culture. Now,
Okay.
depending on the way that they say it, you can pick up on it if it's disdain for blackness, like, nah, I'm not black, that type stuff. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, because we are the only people, black Americans, up until recently, we if someone asks us what our nationality is, many of us say black instead of American. So we don't identify with nationality like the rest of the world does. So a lot of times, black people from different countries are saying, no, I'm not black American. And a lot of times they are trying to take a dump on black culture because of how it's perpetuated in the media. But a lot of times they are making the separation based on culture and not race. However, there are Dominicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, there are a lot of them that are anti-black. That is true. Some of them are. And it's practiced, within their nations too, the same exact way. So some of that is some anti-black, but some of it is a separation of culture. And it is, and it's snobbish because a lot of people do have, and I don't think that this layer of the conversation is talked about a lot. A lot of people do have cultural superiority. When you think about the Haitians versus the
Mm-hmm.
Dominicans, that's cultural superiority complexes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole nother layer to this stuff within the quote unquote diaspora that is problematic, and within their cultural superiority complexes being the Dominicans, there is the underlying element of race, of complexion, of phenotype, because a lot of them are phenotypically different from the Haitian side. But that is definitely, I think they are the best example of cultural superiority.
But here's the thing socially, and this is globally too, the only time blackness is actually celebrated or recognized as something good is when it applies to entertainment and athleticism and sex. I mean, those, okay, so I'll say three. Those are the only three areas where blackness is actually celebrated or seen as something positive. So I understand, based on the global society that we live in, why you would have other groups who want to detach for, like, I understand it because as somebody that studies psychology, I get it. I get the condition. I think it's quite odd that once you had every culture associating the lack of you melanin as something evil, and now you have it where every culture associated with something to strive for. And I can go into the occult magic that I think they use to obtain that, but it's not. We'll do that later, Nyla. But I think that says something. I mean, if we really look at it, why would socially anybody want to be black? Like, can we talk about that really quickly? But I do want to do a time check because, quite frankly, I gotta go soon. So I want to know what's up with y'all. What's up with y'all in terms of y'all's time?
I'm cool. It's early here, so I'm cool.
Yeah, it's just 4:14 here, so
Yeah, I hate y'all because y'all on the West Coast and I'm on the East Coast and it's almost 7:30 and I gotta go soon. But
yeah, lots of daylight left for us.
yeah, no, it's definitely getting dark here. That's why I have to adjust this lightning thing so I'm still able to be seen because it's actually getting dark, contrary to what it might look like. But yeah, can everyone, especially from being that y'all are part of the Latin culture too, the Latin and American culture, but can we acknowledge the fact that socially it's really not a good thing to be black? Sadly.